Have you ever had an interview where it felt like they were never even really interested in you? Like they were interviewing you, but there was no shot that they were actually going to hire you? Well, guess what? That actually does happen. And in today's video, I'm going to give you the top 3 reasons why this happens so that you can look for these signs moving forward. Let's go. Now, I wanted to cover this because one of my YouTube viewers actually made this comment here in which he's basically saying, Ben, if they weren't interested in me, why would they interview me to begin with? And I got to tell you, I can't agree more. That's a waste of everybody's time, but it happens. So let me go through the 3 reasons why it does. Now, the first one is simply out of desperation. When a company has been looking to fill a role for a very long time, we're talking 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, a year, sometimes what they're going to do is they're going to interview people who aren't even an amazing fit for the role. They talk themselves into the candidate's fit. They go, you know what, they've done some similar things, maybe we should just interview them. And that sounds good, but then you get them there and you're talking to them and then they realize, well, this person just isn't a match. So it's going to be very obvious to you that they're not super interested and maybe they don't deem you as a fit. And you'll probably be sitting in the interview thinking, well, why am I even here? You're asking me things, you know that I don't have that in my background, so why are you interested in me as a candidate? And the reason is desperation. They got to that point, thought, okay, maybe here's a great candidate, and they realized, well, this just isn't going to be a fit. Now, the next one, and this one's probably going to be really frustrating but familiar to you if you're watching this video, and it's that they didn't do a good enough job at understanding your background and how you were or were not a fit for the role. The reality is recruiters like me, while we are experts at recruiting, we aren't always experts at the fields we're recruiting in. So I don't have an engineering degree, I don't have an IT degree. And if I'm interviewing someone for an IT role, it's possible that I'm informed enough to really kind of understand whether or not they're a fit. But the reality is there are a lot of recruiters out there who just do not get it. So what they might do is interview someone, think, okay, maybe this person's a fit, and they send that person over to the hiring manager. Now the hiring manager doesn't take the time to really decide, okay, is this a person a fit or not? They just trust the recruiter. Next thing you know, they find themselves in an interview with a person who really isn't a good fit. And they're sitting there like, well, this person isn't really a match. They don't have the skills I want. How did they get here? And reason number 2 is that they just didn't do a good enough job understanding the alignment for the role. So you ended up getting moved forward for a role that you weren't really fully qualified for to begin with. Now the last reason, and I gotta tell you, this is gonna be the most infuriating reason. If you are still watching at this point, over the next 30 to 45 seconds, prepare to be just a bit pissed off. But one of the things that all hiring managers want when they're gonna make a hiring decision is they wanna interview 3 to 4 candidates. If I can tell you, it's one of the most frustrating things about being a recruiter is when you find one amazing candidate and you're like, here they are, perfect fit. And the hiring manager goes, wow, they do look great, amazing. I could totally see myself hiring this person, but do me a favor, give me 2 to 3 other people to compare them with. And it's like, what do you need to compare them with? This is the perfect person right here. I found them. But this happens all the time. So if you feel like you're brought to an interview, they don't seem super interested in you, and you get the feeling like, am I a backup candidate? Well, guess what? Some of the time, that's actually true. You're probably wondering, well, how do I know I'm a backup candidate, Ben? Is there a way for me to find out? Are there signs? And yeah, there are. This video right here, I made this so that you could identify when you were a backup candidate and you were interviewing for a role you don't really have a shot at. Nobody wants to waste their time. Watching this video over here, well, it's gonna help you avoid wasting your time. So I'm done here, but I'll see you over there.